you are. Act and you will be. Act and you will be. It must be used. The law is, but it must be used. The law is, but it must be used. Let God's greatness wash over you. Let God's greatness wash over you. Faith without works will die. You know, faith without works will die. Faith without works will die. To create, you must learn how to try. To create, you must learn how to try. God's words are yea and amen. You know God's words are yea and amen. God's words are yea and amen. Look where you're going and not where you've been. Look where you're going and not where you've been. Believe and it shall be done. Oh, believe, and it shall be done. Believe, and it shall be done. Accept and let it be. Accept and let it be. Accept and set yourself free.
Good morning and welcome to Father's Day at Albuquerque Center for Spiritual Living. Thank you for joining us in our virtual sanctuary. Give it up for the amazing Susan Clark and our ABQ CSL players. We're so glad you've joined us on Facebook Live. Please use the feed, and we'd like to say hi to each other, and what I'd like you to consider today on Father's Day is, how have the men in your life influenced you? And what opportunities might exist for creating, improving, letting go, or deepening relationships with them? Be thinking about that and share your thoughts on the feed during the service, and we'll catch up with you later in the service around some of those. So let's begin the service by taking this into affirmative prayer. I know that there is one infinite intelligence with the power to create everything that we see and who we are, and Spirit is in all the details of life. And I know as a father that Spirit is in me and has guided my thoughts and actions into creating a life that worked for my children. And I know this to be true of and possible for all fathers. And so today we celebrate spirituality and masculinity and fond memories of our fathers and being a father. And I know this service unfolds in perfection. And so it is.
Hello, beloveds. I am Reverend Amani Malaika, and happy Father's Day. I wanted to light this candle today in honor of all of the divine masculine, the divine fathering that many of us have participated in, regardless of gender. But I really want to thank you, fathers. Thank you for all the care and guidance and providing and support and strength that you have given to me in my life, to my son, and to all of us on this planet. Thank you so much. And so I light this candle today in honor of the divine masculine, the divine fatherhood. Blessings.
Worthy to live in love, ready to live as God expressing, knowing that I am enough, and worthy to live in love, worthy to live in love, ready to live as God expressing, knowing that I am enough, and worthy to live in love. And I join with the sacred one. I see your face, I hear your voice. I remember we all have come to bring to the world our love. Worthy to live in love, ready to live as God expressing, knowing that I am enough, and worthy to live in love, worthy to live in love, ready to live as God expressing, knowing that I am enough, and worthy to live in love. And I join with the sacred one. I see your face, I hear your voice. I remember we all have come to bring to this world our love. Worthy to live in love, ready to live as God expressing, knowing that I am enough, and worthy to live in love.
Today's sacred reading is from Radical Dharma, and it is on Tongle. Tongle means taking or sending, and it can be described as replacing ourselves for others. It is a transformative practice. We could say that this practice is one of radical expansion in which we are challenging the boundaries we erect and giving permission for those boundaries to be dissolved in our increasing care and concern for others around us. This care and concern is the deepening of our own inherent compassion, which is both the recognition of suffering in ourselves and others and the aspiration to alleviate this suffering. Tongle allows me to enter into a kind of intimacy with my own woundedness and offers me a way to stay connected to my experience. When I am in tune to my discomfort, I'm less likely to avoid your discomfort. Or to put it another way, when I am able to show up to my suffering, I can also show up to yours. When I practice loving kindness, I need to remember that I am cared for. I need to remember that my feelings of being lonely, isolated, and unlovable are essentially the illusions perpetuated by my ego fixation. When I am practicing, I wish to experience the deepest well-being and happiness. And gradually, I begin wishing that others experience the same thing. In this way, I begin the courageous and great work of loving myself and extending the same love to as many people as I can. So I invite you into this practice of Tongle and Meditation with me right now. And I invite you to get centered where you are. Take a deep breath and exhale. And call to mind someone who is suffering. That person could be you. Breathe in that pain and let's transmute that darkness into light. We can transmute anything with gratitude for knowing that that is a temporary condition. And then we send them peace and we repeat this meditation and we move on to someone else. And so I invite you to join that practice and make that a practice for you daily. And this is the practice of Tongle.
When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God.
Good morning, ACSL. Let's send out some virtual love to Jim Casey on the guitar, Arnaldo Costa on the drums, yours truly, Rodney Bowe. And we are blessed to have the wonderful songwriter, singer, composer, Susan Clark. And we are going to feature, first give her some virtual love.
Taking it in, taking it in.
And we're going to feature one of her own originals entitled Spirit Lead Me Home.
Thank you, Rodney. Spirit, lead me home. I have grown weary of trying to make it on my own. I surrender. which way is thine? Spirit, lead me home. I have grown so weary of trying to make it on my own. I surrender my life to you. Oh, Spirit, show me what to do. You send me to the mountains to be alone up in the tree. You ask me to be silent and to get down on my knees. Could it be your voice I hear coming from the birds up in the sky? Is your message as simple as just to trust you without knowing all the winds and the waves? Spirit, lead me home. I have grown so weary of trying to make it down here on my own. I surrender my life to you. Oh, Spirit, show me what to do. I am listening for your voice. Oh, give me some kind of sign. Which way is thine? Oh, Spirit, lead me home. Oh, Spirit, lead me home.
The incomparable Susan Clark and the ABQ CSL players. That was beautiful. Thank you so
What a
much.
band, what a band, what a band.
So I wanted to share with you a little bit on Father's Day. For me, it's a twofold experience. One is it floods me with memories of my dad, who passed away a few years ago, and probably like most fathers and sons, we had in a relationship status called it's complicated. I grew up in New England in a small town, and my dad was a really hardworking, tough guy, and he he instilled some of that in me, and I really have come to thank him for that. It's taken me quite a while. This past week, we did a whole series on forgiveness, and as I took it into my practice, I worked a lot with thinking through that relationship, and am just filled with gratitude for all the lessons that he taught me and all of the ways in which he showed up for me that maybe I didn't understand when I was younger, but I've come to value quite a bit now. And I've also come to understand how those have affected me and shaped me as a father. My work in spirituality has led me to embrace the concept of quiet strength. I think my chief attribute as a father was to be a rock and a quiet version of strength. I was not a taskmaster, and I was not a loud and boisterous authoritarian father, but my children knew that I was there for them, and they knew they could count on me, and they knew that I was a man of love. So it's these two memories and two versions of Father's Day that shape my thinking and make me who I am. Parenting for me was on the poles, I call it, because I had two children. I had a son. I have a son, obviously, Josh, who lives in upstate New York. And he was a wild child. He was a difficult to parent kid, but an amazingly creative soul. And so we had to parent him with a lot of creativity and a lot of effort and a lot of hands-on interaction. And then our daughter is a very intellectual person and a very individual, very unique individual. She speaks 3 languages and plays 9 instruments and has never had a lesson in any of it. It's all self-taught and self-directed. And parenting for her required us to make suggestions and get out of the way, but to have her know that she was supported and loved, even though a lot of times we couldn't give her the time that maybe we would have liked. So maybe I think she developed that, that need to self-direct through the situation of our family at that time. So, coming back around to spirituality, I want to bring up my dear friend Kenneth Winfrey, and we've been asked to consider a couple questions, and so we're going to have a little conversation about these questions.
Yes. Hello.
So we're asked to contemplate, how does your spirituality help you to cleanse delusion, misperception about masculinity?
Wow. That's a very interesting question. And I think that a lot of the practices that are in the science of mind help to cleanse that delusion and misperception by challenging us with things like oneness, right? I mean, so it's hard to feel that, power over or patriarchal attitude. Just concentrating on oneness, for example, can do it for me. Yeah.
And as I mentioned, I think it's a misperception that men have to be macho and loud and strong. The deeper that I've gone into my spirituality, the more grounded in true masculinity I've become. And so I take pride in being a gentle warrior and bringing strength to spiritual principle and a sense of calm strength is the real work that I've done in cleansing the delusion that we have to be these altogether men all the time.
Or know it all.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
And so how do you think that makes you a better father?
Well, I think understanding that I don't know it all and really seeing my kids as a part of a future that I don't have information about and allowing myself to be informed by that is actually inspiring. Once I put aside my ego, the need to know and the need to be in the front, I let my kids be in the front. Yeah. And fatherhood became quite a learning experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what it brought to mind for me too, is the willingness to learn from your children. And because I was not rooted in ego during that process, I was very hands-on and active with their interests. And so they came to know that true love and true support was about letting them lead, just the way you said it. It's really, really, really beautiful. So I'm going to turn the floor over to Kenneth, and he's going to share some more thoughts on his journey of fatherhood.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you could we could share some ideas, and I really appreciate that opportunity. When I was asked to speak about fatherhood today, the first word that came to mind was ancestor. And then I thought of Juneteenth, which was celebrated this weekend. And for those who don't know, Juneteenth is a celebration that originated in our neighbor state, Texas. Texas was the most remote part of slave territory at that time. And the Emancipation Proclamation of January 1863 wasn't enforced there until after the Civil War had actually ended. So the name of the observance is a portmanteau, which is a contraction of words. So June and 19th were put together to create the word Juneteenth. So I invite you to think of a day when you felt liberated into a new stage of life. Remember one of those days and maybe create your own portmanteau. So my birthday is October 18th. So if I have a gathering this year, I'll call it my annual 18th party. And then we don't have to really talk about which one it is, right? So, and then I thought of mindfulness, right? And I thought of the mindfulness of the African journey in America. I thought of mindfulness as fathers pass it on as a tradition of masculinity in families. With regard to the African journey in America, I thought of this quote from Radical Dharma on how fatherhood has been impacted by racism. The great fraud of the construct of whiteness is that it has coerced and convinced most white folks to no longer see their own oppression. By men over women, by straights over LGBT, by hetero fathers over their sons in arbitrating their masculinity, by capitalist values of personal acquisition over the personal freedom of one's soul, white folks have been duped to trade their humanity for the privilege. The most insidious lie is that racism is a black problem or a colored folks problem. White folks, we have to wake up. Not only oppressed people are complicit in oppression, it is your problem too. So reading this helped me realize how often the love of fatherhood has been impacted by the notion of one over the other, control, dictating what needs to be normal, and on and on. It seems that fatherhood, like all hoods, motherhood, brotherhood, sisterhood, neighborhood, peoplehood, could use more mindfulness. As I sought resources on mindfulness, I noted that looking for quotes that few folks actually used the word while they talked about it. So some of us might not be sure about how to practice it. And I want to say, well, yeah, because it's kind of hard to find out how to do it sometimes. The truth is we can be unmindful about the word itself. Today I'm going to invite fathers and invite the Father within each of us through oneness to deepen the walk of mindfulness, which has many twists and turns for us to learn more about ourselves. So what is said about mindfulness? James Baraz wrote that mindfulness is simply being aware of what is happening right now without wishing it were different, enjoying the present without holding on when it changes, and it will, being with the unpleasant without fearing it will always be this way, which it won't. Another teacher, John Kabat-Zinn, says that mindfulness means paying attention in a particular way, on purpose, in the present moment, and without judgment. Non-judgment isn't really about stopping judgments because the mind is a judgment machine. It wants to sort and judge what it sees. It's the nature of the mind to judge. And it's our job to understand that and place it in its part in our lives. In Asian languages, the word for mind and the word for heart are the same. Kabat-Zinn teaches that if you're not hearing mindfulness in some way deep as heartfulness, you're not really understanding it. Compassion and kindness towards oneself are intrinsically woven into it. You could think of mindfulness as wise and affectionate attention, as with fatherhood. So when I think of fatherhood, I think of wise and affectionate attention with firm guidance. I think of what it means to make my goal the response to the needs of an infant, not to a president or a police officer. We know that 6.9 pounds of discontent can actually be quite powerful. When I think of compassion as mindfulness, I think of the compassion I must also show myself as I practice being a better father and a more mindful human being. It might seem that I would have mastered mindfulness with my children as soon as they had come into my life. However, it was the journey of self-compassion and learning self-kindness that was the most challenging because it revealed in itself my aspirations to be mindful with our children. And what self-love I had not yet learned. After the kids arrived, it all seemed that it had to happen a little faster than my free-flying pre-parent days were offering. It always comes back to that, how I'm loving myself. When I'm loving myself, I have no need to take power over or from, and my role as a father remains rooted in wise affection and firm guidance. This season of fatherhood is not just an annual holiday. This is a cycle of eclipses, actually, that began in 2018. Now, I won't give you a whole astrology lesson here, but this cycle is supposedly associated with exploring the themes of parentage, family, ancestor, tradition, security, success, and achievement, and what these things mean to us on a personal and collective level. It specifically relates to our emotional connections and nurturing. It's a birthing, and it's happening collectively in a way that sure seems relevant in more ways than one right now. Today marks the end of this 2-year cycle, and so we can let it not go unnoticed today. Each of us can use today and every day to revisit the way we offer wise affection and guidance to ourselves, the people, and the other beings in our lives. So I invite you to share this with me today in oneness and to anchor this message with divine access to wisdom and an abundant affection for yourself and for everyone and every being around you. And I invite you to experience this with a burden-free gratitude and to release the gates of our heart to open to a more compassionate and harmonious world for all of humanity. Thank you so much for sharing this Father's Day with me, and so it is.
So I'm Lisa Taj McSellen, and I'm the so-called operations goddess here at the center. I'm the director of operations, and I handle media and finance and spirit groups as well. And I wanted to share my experience through the Centers for Spiritual Living and as it relates to prosperity. My very first exposure was through a book study group studying spiritual economics in Belen through a CSL study group that I became a part of down there. And I tell you what, I've never been poorer in my life. And I had, a partner, 5 kids between us, and, nothing. We had practically not even hardly the gas to get to the study group. But from the very first day we opened that book together with our group, it transformed everything I thought about money and prosperity and abundance. And it was really transformative. And that was probably like 16, 17 years ago. And through the years, I used it as a foundation, I guess, to kind of like to help pull myself up, I guess you could say. I started using money differently, thinking of money differently, not being so afraid of it, not hating it or loving it as much as I did, and just understanding it better and studying it more. I wasn't raised or taught about it or how to even pay bills properly. So it took a while. I started paying some bills on time, and I started making more money, and I started making more money, and just little things at a time. But I used it. I kept going back to it because it was the only thing, it was the only source of knowledge I'd ever been given about money. So how lucky am I that it was that book first, Spiritual Economics by Eric Butterworth, by the way. And as time progressed, I was able to give. I'd always been giving my time, but I began to recognize that my time was worth money, and I continued giving my time. But I started being able to give things and money here and there, little bits at a time. And it was hard because I was still pretty tight money-wise with a lot of people to support. But each time I did it, I don't know, I became more capable of doing it again or more. And eventually, I arrived at a place where I am now where I every day after payday here, I have an automatic tithe that goes in. So it's tied to me getting paid. It's not like I don't count on my paychecks, but as soon as I get paid the next day, there's an automatic tithe. And I have automatic giving to, the Transgender Resource Center, ACLU, and several places that represent the values of my family and my world. And I cannot tell you how beautiful it is. I'm also a foster mom. And that was a big part of my giving that I realized I could do. And I don't know, I'm just such a different person. I feel less powerless than I ever have to affect change in the world. And it's not because of the money, it's because of just the ability to reach people with what they need. Yeah, we got to eat first, and then maybe we can donate later. And that's exactly what I had to work up through, You can't ask people who are starving to give you money. And I was starving. And so I'm not starving, and then I got better and better. And it's magical to be able to help other people get there too. And I'm just really grateful for the teaching that I've received at the Center for Spiritual Living in that area, not just with that one book, but the science of mind in general. And it's really put clear for me how we are all one, and it is all related, and my money is your money, and my clothes that I'm not going to wear anymore are your clothes, and it's all ours. And it really does feel like I'm literally in a river, in a flow. And so what flows by me, I use it, and then I let it keep flowing. And that's all it is for me. And I don't know. My children have gone from being hungry to being able to ask me for random things whenever they want. But then also, about once a week, I get a big old bag of clothes and things that they tell me they need to take to the transgender thrift store or whatever, the places that we like to donate, because they give. They're part of the flow as well. And, I just really recommend studying that book and studying in the science of mind also the different themes around prosperity and abundance.
Shout out to Lisa Taj McSellen, our OG. Thank you so much for everything that you do for this community, and that was a beautiful testimony of your journey with this. You can give in a number of ways. We talk of text to give. You also can go on to abqcsl.org, and there's a click here to contribute button, and that will help you to set up a regular gift. So join me right now, if you will, in saying our abundance affirmation. My life is a demonstration of loving kindness, and my gift is my expression of gratitude. I give with love, kindly and joyfully, expressing my gratitude for my community. Ashe, Aho, Yes, and Amen. And so it is.
God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source. gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need.
So once again, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us on Facebook Live. Keep posting reflections on how the men in your life have influenced you, and what might be the opportunities for shifting, changing, deepening relationship with them. We'd love to hear more reflection on that. For announcements, it's really simple. If you're new and just joining us for the first time, go to our website, abqcsl.org. And it's full of information and full of ways where you can deepen your connection with us and your connection to your own spiritual path. And on there also is an opportunity to sign up for our newsletter, which comes out every week. And in addition to all the stuff that's available to you on the website, information about what's going on every week is just jam-packed into this beautiful newsletter that we put out every week. So we encourage you to do that. If you're new, even if you're not new, everybody should really check out that website and the newsletter. It's a couple of really wonderful resources for you. So let me see if I have anything on the feed we can share with you.
Did you mention Butterfly Net?
No, why don't you tell them about it?
We have a community forum that is awesome. Would love for more of you to jump on there. You can click into it straight from the website. Just click on Butterfly Net, and then if you've never been in there before, it just shows you how to create an account really quick, and then it'll just take you right to it. And it's just a place, other than Facebook, where we can share our thoughts and ideas, questions, be in conversation with each other. And it's really, you can post pictures and videos, so get on Butterfly Net.
My Facebook feed is not seeming to work, so I just want you to take into your life today gratitude for all the lessons learned by either being a father or that you have experienced through whatever your journey has been with whoever fathered you, which can look at a number of different ways. So just take that into your day. Also, I wanted to let you know that we have this program that we put out every day called Spirit Calling, and you can sign up for that on the website as well. And you receive daily practice around the message that we give on Sunday, and it's a really wonderful way to stay connected in your spiritual practice and to this community. So join me right now in saying our final affirmation. The greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. Have a great day.
Everywhere I am is holy ground, for I walk in God. Everywhere I am is holy ground, for the power and the presence of pure spirit.
gentle and easy. Everywhere I am is holy ground, for I dance in joy. Everywhere I am is holy ground, for the power and the presence of your spirit makes my path gentle and easy. Thanks, everyone. Have a beautiful week. Happy Father's Day. We love you.
Bye-bye.